Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group at Coldwell Banker Burnett. Listen closely as your coaches discuss the culture, the economy, and the political scene, and how it affects your home and your real estate investments. Real Estate Chalk Talk is where you learn the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. Your education begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, the weather has turned, kids. Beautiful weather outside, and the real estate market is roaring full speed ahead now that we've got Easter out of the way, and the attention can be focused on what's out shaking about. Construction is in full bore.
90 degrees one day and potentially snow
the next
4 days later.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I don't know if we're going to have any significant, but I still have, this week it's been, 80 degrees,
Yep.
3-4 days in a row or whatever it is,
Right.
and I still have huge piles of snow at the
I
end
know,
of our
it's crazy,
cul-de-sac.
isn't it?
It's like, how can there be 80 degrees and you could go and ski down the slope
I know.
still in the thing.
We're getting there, though.
All right,
So-
this, of course, we had Easter because it kind of throws a little bit a bump in the numbers, but not really. Total inventory on the market right now, 4,032 this week in the 7-county metropolitan area. Last week it was 4,077. At the beginning of the year it was 4,498. So actually down about 400 houses, 450 homes from the first of the year, but up from a year ago. So that's the good news. So
Where were you at a year ago, Keith?
A year ago it was 3,343, so we're up about 700 homes
Okay.
on the market in the 7-county metro, and there's stuff out there, but the move through is pretty good. I mean, this even this week with Easter, we still had 678 homes go pending. That's pretty decent. Last week, of course, before Easter, it was closer to 900, but we'll see that volume increase, the pace increase, and the pressure really be put on the inventory right now.
Where are you seeing inventory coming from right now?
Need. It's all need-based moves. I mean, people are moving for the traditional reasons that people moved before. I mean, they're moving. I read a chart that was that I was looked at this week, and they talked about why people were moving, and about 30% of them wanted to move to take advantage of the market to take some money off the table because their values have increased and such. All the rest of them are moving because of reasons: family, job, the more traditional stuff, and to me that's the better market anyhow. That's the one you want.
What type of homes are coming on the market in terms of inventory? Are you seeing just traditional 2-stories? Are you seeing larger homes coming on, smaller, first-time homebuyer homes coming on, or doesn't it?
All the above.
Yeah.
All the above.
All the above. I'm noticing a lot of great properties in like South Minneapolis, Richfield, Bloomington, and what I mean by great is that they've been lived in and improved while they've lived there. And so for whatever reason, these homes are coming on the market, and there's not a lot of garbage coming on the market. I've actually run across a couple of foreclosure situations, but I'm looking in a price point for a few different buyers, and that's like high 2s to mid 3s, which is just under the median sales price in the metro area. So that level is super competitive. And like we talked about last year, as the market shifts, we'll see a lot more first-time home buyers coming into the market. They'll get used to interest rates being in the 6s and low 7s, or hopefully back in the low 6s and high 5s. Would love to get there, but they're doing what they can to dip their toe in the water and buy their first property. And those want-based moves, maybe the last couple of years we're spending 80% of our time working on those want-based moves, where that's shifted to like 20% of the market, and the other 80% are your deaths, divorces, and
all the D's.
Mom is having a new baby or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I have had some sellers take advantage of their the high values and sell and rent for a period of time, waiting for whatever property they wanted to get to come on the market. So I actually have a couple people in waiting that are on leases that they intend to break, or have already discussed with the landlords of paying themselves out of them for when the property does come available.
What are you finding just on that? Because I've had a couple people as well that are contemplating renting for a bit. You can't get out of the lease though, can you? Or what are your clients doing other than you can always pay it off?
Yep. Typically my folks will talk with me in advance about like, what can I do? If we work in a buy build clause within the lease up front, you can agree to anything, right? So if the landlord says, sure, pay me $3,000 and I'll get you out of the lease, plus I'm keeping your damage deposit, maybe they walk away with $6,000, the landlord does, and then they'll turn the property and lease it to somebody else. There's not a shortage of people that will come in and lease properties. I mean, housing is in demand regardless if it's rental or purchase right now.
So it's called a buy-build clause?
Yeah, buy-build clause. So maybe they're going to build a house and they're going to rent for a period of time, and they're waiting for that house to be built, and they know then when the house is done, maybe they have a couple months left on the lease, and they'll just buy the lease out from the landlord. There'll be a break fee, or maybe
there's a
it's
cost
less,
associated with
maybe
it.
it's less just to pay the rent for the last month or whatever it
Right.
is. It just depends on the situation.
Working
But
with some people right now.
I think always honesty up front in advance and having a clear understanding of what the overall goal is for everybody is the best case scenario in that situation.
Smart.
Timing is a thing too, because sometimes you're at the point where you got 4 years or 4 months left on your lease. So now you just time your purchase so that it gives you a chance to,
extend the closing date out 60
Yeah.
days. You burn up a couple months rent that way, and
there's
it
ways
works
to
out.
work around it. And if the worst case scenario is it costs you some money to break the lease, and sometimes it's worth it. The bigger problem is, especially for someone coming out of an apartment, first-time home buyer, is that's an extremely competitive market.
It is.
Right?
I'm working with a gal moving in from California. It's a cash purchase. She's going to buy anywhere from $280 to $330, and then also some first timers in that same situation. This gal is essentially downsizing from a divorce situation, and we are seeing a lot of great homes in that price point: 2 beds, 3 beds, 1 bath, 2 baths, 2-car garages that have been well maintained, improved, and improved well. Not like slapped together renovated jobs that are just flip deals. People have been living in them, so wherever they're going, maybe taking advantage of the market and moving up. Who knows? Because they're probably sitting on fat equity too. And a lot of people buy between 12 and 17. They're sitting on huge equity positions, and you can take some of that money right now, buy your interest rate down, or put more money down to have less of a payment. I mean, there are options for those folks that have.
Or just realize you're going to tough it out for 18 months or a year and refi.
What is it going to be, Calvin?
How
long till the rates are forced again?
May 10th. I thought it was
May
April
10th.
10th. That's
May
what you
10th.
chose for.
No, Trevor, you can run the tape back.
Run the
but
tape
it was,
back.
It's May 10th. We're going to start seeing that trending.
You know what I'm surprised at, Keith?
What?
I have some people are moving back from Florida. All right, so they're coming back to Minnesota.
From Florida.
From Florida.
Why would you ever?
Family and such. So they
But the political environment is so terrible here compared to Florida.
Anyhow, so they sold their place in Florida. Did well there. Coming back here, looking for a Rambler. So they're. I was surprised at how many there are available.
Ramblers?
Yeah.
Rambler single-family homes?
Single-family Rambler homes in that 500 to 700 price point. There's actually quite a few available.
Are they nice?
Yes.
New one just listed today in Egan.
I saw that.
It's a nice house.
Yep,
brick.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep, very nice house.
Really?
Yeah, very nice. Anyhow, there's just plenty. I went out and previewed one yesterday.
How'd that go?
Great. Did a walkthrough, shot a little video, thing, and then give them a little hi, how you doing, and sent it down to them so that they could see it, because they're kind of waiting to close on their deal down there. Then they're going to come up actually and rent for a time. That's their fallback position.
Right.
They're hoping that we can find something that they can just move right into.
There's that giant Rambler in Egan that's 2.1, 2.2 million.
It might be a little bit
in the
high.
Great Oaks area up there.
That might be
by my old house.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know who built it, but there it sits. It just came on the market too.
Oh, is that right?
It's been there for a while.
Yeah, I think
that might be high.
I'll think about that. I think I do. I think I know who built it, but I'm not sure. All right, so that's it. But there were.
So what price point was that, Keith, that you were looking at? That
we're
you did
looking
that
up to $650. That one was $585.
Okay, and why would they want to rent now, or is that just a backup plan? If
that's
they
a
have a good
backup
realtor,
plan because we had talked about.
If they had a good realtor,
they'd probably find something for it.
Probably would.
Okay.
We talked about building.
Sorry.
So we're looking at some kind of maybe new construction that is underway. They don't want to wait 6 months or 9 months for a house, so they're not
spec
doing
home
that.
in the midst of being built. Yeah.
So if they can jump into a temporary rental situation, just like we were talking about, while a project gets completed, that's okay. But from scratch to go through all that, no, probably not going to do that. So they're hoping to find something that is existing, and there's some very nice ramblers out there. If you look in the Apple Valley, Burnsville, Lakeville, the south area here, shocking. Okay, we got the guys in from GCM Construction, Gasson Construction. Well,
Gasson Construction and Maintenance.
Okay, yep. Gasson Construction and Maintenance from our friends at Gasson. That's a name that everybody recognizes, and if you have been in the industry or how many units does Gasson have under?
Just under 18,000.
18,000 units under management. So it seems like a really good synergy then to have a construction and maintenance company that kind of ties in with that. Now, Gasson's been doing construction forever.
Absolutely. Yep.
So tell us about why it is now that you've started this new company and what it is that you hope to achieve, and what services are you looking to improve on?
Yeah, so we've always, like you said, we've always had construction and maintenance in house. It's a need our clients have, 24/7 maintenance, especially for emergencies and things like that. And a few years ago, we decided that we really wanted to offer a higher level of service, really bring customer service to the forefront, bring together some of the best team members from the industry with the most amount of knowledge, and really focus on quality, customer service, that client relationship. Our construction division and our maintenance division, it's a little different, Many construction companies come out to a house or something, and that homeowner wants to hire them for a deck or something of that nature. They get that work done, and then they're gone.
Right.
And these clients don't leave us. They're still with us. And so that relationship continues after we leave the site, and we're back again same week, same thing, doing other projects. So making sure that relationship with those clients and those homeowners is perfected is what our goal was.
It's one of the things. It's probably really important because when you guys are running all these associations, you're going to be around that property anyway.
Yep.
So it's not like some of these construction companies where they get to do a not half-assed job, but kind of a half-assed job, and then they leave and you never see them again. You guys are still around the property all the time.
Oh, of course. Daily, weekly. Many projects that I've completed as a construction manager for GCM, multiple properties where I know people by name when I drive through the neighborhood. They're like, "Hey, Joe, how's it going?" And, it's every day, see people the same and help them out with whatever they need. And we like to make sure they're happy at the end of the job. So
let me just ask you this, and just so there's a crisp delineation between the companies and services. So there's Gasson, the management company.
Yep.
All right. So then their job then is to do their thing with the associations and all that stuff. Now you're a standalone company. Is
correct.
That right? Okay,
we are.
So they're not your only customer then.
No, they're not.
Because Gasson Management then is actually your customer, right?
They are our customer.
Okay.
Yes.
So then you do the maintenance work for them.
Correct.
Which makes sense because there's a synergy there that allows you just to do a more seamless work in that regard. So tell me about your work outside of that then. What kind of a target, if you will, or what's your sweet spot for the kind of work that you would like to do for a non-Gasson managed client?
To be honest, we involve ourselves with everything. The only service we don't offer in-house is asphalt.
Okay.
That's the only thing we don't get involved with. We handle water management all the way up to construction defect claims, roofing, siding, windows, doors, the same thing you hear from people. But we really dive into everything. We do retaining walls. We do landscape stuff. We do anything that a client could need. We were recently partnered with Open Door and Zillow.
Okay.
We were partnered with them. When they were doing that business of buying
Turning
up homes
over,
turning over homes.
Before they blew up?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So we were partnered with them. We're taking a look at the commercial space right now because we really have a lot of that knowledge in house, where we could provide great service out there, great pricing, be able to beat a lot of our competitors. But really, we're looking to do any construction, exterior or interior, outside of these doors. Our whole team is very versed on doing interior remodels, renovations, and then building decks and doing windows and doors and siding.
Can I ask you?
Hold on. How big a team do you have? Because that's like everything on the construction side.
So,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Our in-house employees, we have 22.
All right.
No kidding.
And we have about 140 subcontractors that work for us.
Okay, so then on your subcontractors, because most contractors have subcontractors. I mean, you manage the general contractor is basically a manager, project manager.
Yep.
And then they sub out to different groups. How do you maintain? You talk about quality and service. How do you maintain the consistency of quality when you're dealing with multiple subcontractors?
Well, we do.
Oh, sorry. No, we've been working with most of them since the start at GCM over 3 years ago. We have 4 in-house construction managers that are in charge of a number of different association properties. When projects come out onto their plate, they're out on the job. They're making sure that things are happening properly, that things are getting buttoned up, and inspections are happening, and then all the work is quality. Just making sure that every step of the way, these guys are out there making sure that the job's done right.
So I want to be more specific about that in terms of like framing contractors and that. Do you have multiple companies that
Yep,
you?
Yes. Absolutely. So I mean, we put them through a vetting process. Most of the subs we're working with are people we've been working with our entire lives outside of GCM.
Okay.
I mean, our company has 4 different people that own construction companies themselves that we've brought all together that are now working under the same roof. And so a lot of these are friends and family members and people we've networked with in the past. And we have a preferred vendor list that we use in house. It's very, very difficult to get on that list. You have to show us the quality, the pricing, the commitment. You got to answer the phone. We got to be able to trust you. And it's really easy to get off that list. So we have our guys stopping out at these projects daily, sometimes twice a day, just to double check on things. A lot of our guys aren't scared to put a tool belt on too, and button something up if it needs some correction. But we just really demand quality, and if you can't provide that, you're not working for us. It's as simple as that. And we have the amount of work to keep these people happy and keep them very busy, and so they really want to work with us. But you are only as good as your worst subcontractor. And so we have to trust that they're doing the best they can, and if they're not, we're going to make changes there.
When we went through a time period in the last couple of years where, I mean, you just couldn't get anybody out there. There's nobody in the trades, there's nobody. How are you dealing with that, and what has happened post COVID, that has relieved that? Have you adjusted to it? Is the workflow different, or how have you accommodated that?
Yeah, so I mean, actually COVID was quite busy.
Everybody's sitting in their house looking around.
They're looking at projects.
We also need to point out that we started GCM, and 2 weeks later, COVID hit.
Of course.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah. So there's 2 months where it was a little
nervous.
We were busy.
And then the summer was banging.
Yeah, I mean, we're interviewing people in parking lots and things like that to get this organization off the ground. Again, like you said, we have that captive audience. So, these people have to follow their reserves. They have to follow, their operating budgets and stuff. And they consistently need maintenance and construction. Right. So that work's coming regardless. It's the stuff we're doing outside of the doors at single-family homes and townhomes and things like that. I mean, we even work on apartment complexes and stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, since COVID has finally ramped down, all of our building price materials are starting to come down. Lumber has started to even out, and the workers are coming back out. Still nowhere like it used to be many years ago. I mean, I started in the union. You couldn't get a job. It was so full, and we just don't see that talent coming out anymore. No one wants to get into the trade. So it's tough. And so really having a great network of people and just knowing people through the industries, and me and Joe work really hard on talking to our vendors and our subs and convincing them to come partner with us. That's the thing. They're not looking for work. They're busy. And so what can we offer them that keeps them comfortable, keeps that job security going, and working with a team that they trust.
How are you starting to fill that gap, looking for young people to get into the trades? Do you take people on an apprentice type position to teach them some of these things? Or, I mean, you're starting to see that more and more, even, whatever type of job that they're just saying, we'll teach you our job. Just come work if you're a good person.
Yeah, we bring a lot of people into our maintenance tech division, and that's where we're performing a lot of work in-house, and we rely on these guys, and we apprentice them. We take them out to the field, we show them what we do, we teach them different trades, we teach them how to install siding, we teach them how to do all this stuff, and trying to build up that, and we really promote from within. So we want them to grow to the top of the organization. And so the only way they're going to do that is by building that knowledge and being receptive to learning from us.
Coaching of it.
Yes.
And just in GCM in general, when Tony mentions promoting within, when we started, we had 4 of us, right? And since then, we've had 0 voluntary turnover.
None.
So everything's been, and it's been, I don't think we've even hired on ads other than technicians. It's been people we know, friends we know, people we've known in the industry, bringing in the good people that we can know and trust right off the bat.
Yeah, that's a good qualifier. Is it 0 voluntary turnover.
Yeah, I like
but
that.
You have
I like
had
that
some,
language.
You've had some
That's great
involuntary
language.
turnover.
Not many, only what, two?
Two.
Yeah.
Two. I
like that.
Started with 4 3 years ago. We're up to 22 people now, and only 2 of those we've let go in that time period. Otherwise, everyone else has remained.
What's your background? Are you? Oh, we
All
got to
right, when
run
we
out.
come
We'll get
back-
your next segment on
When
that.
we come back, I want to talk about the design build side of things and how you go through that design process. And I want to just touch base on the commercial side of thing, what you're looking at there and where you're moving in that direction when we come back from break.
Do you want to get contact information? I don't know if we did that last segment.
We have Tony and Joe in from GCM Construction. How could somebody get a hold of you? What is it? GCM?
It's GCM at gcmcompany.com.
Okay.
Or at our website, gcmcompany.com.
Okay, gcmcompany.com.
GCMcompany.com.
Yep.
GCM at gcmcompany.com is
That's a main email address.
coming in.
Yep.
952-922-5575. What's this? I wanted to talk about design build, but now I just caught my eye here. What's this Home 360 Plus maintenance service?
All right. So that's a really cool plan. So I got this idea actually from my mother.
This is Tony's baby.
This is my baby. I've been working on this for a while. So my mother gave me this idea. She works in the healthcare industry, and one of her jobs is to work with mainly seniors in coordinating their care and things of that nature.
All right.
And in doing so, she had noticed that these people were speaking to her, and they're struggling. They can't get their softener salt refilled. They can't get their thermostats fixed. They got light bulbs out. Their internet's out. All of these different things that they're struggling with. And, if they don't have a son or daughter that can come over and take care of those things, there's nothing really they can do. They can point them in the direction of someone, but getting help in that industry was kind of difficult. And so from that, we kind of built this new plan, and it's ever evolving. We're really looking to get it out to market. It's launching next week, but we're looking for additional services to add to it. But it's GCM Home 360 and GCM Home 360 Plus. It's 2 different plans, but what it really does is it covers the basics of your home, right? Those filter changes, those light bulb changes, batteries in anything within your house, remotes, fire smoke detectors, carbon monoxide, adjustments of doors, rehanging of towel bars, pictures, wall coverings, anything of that nature, small scale that's necessary at your home, we come in and we take care of it. You pay either monthly or you pay a one-time fee at the beginning of the year, and you're scheduled all these visits throughout the year. Our first visit, we come out, we inventory your home, we determine what type of batteries you have, filters, softener salts, all of those things, and we keep that inventory in-house so that we can service you quite quickly. The Plus plan also includes 2 gutter cleanings a year and window cleaning on your entire home, and so we just thought some of those services were really going to be beneficial to many, not only landlords, renters, tenants, single-family homeowners, and then specifically the senior community that could use some of that service,
or just a busy anybody.
Yeah, we're going to offer this to people outside of Gasson's doors. So this would be any association.
And I mean, we tried to look at it even further. There's legalities that we couldn't do. We wanted to add prescription services. We pick up your prescriptions, things like that.
Okay.
But we're really trying to cater to figuring out what those things are that they need that they can't get easily.
Right.
And
what about maintenance on air conditioner, heating, air,
HVAC.
You do all that.
Yep.
You can get those service plans all the time. Every place is offering those right now.
Correct.
Is that part of your plan
That
then,
is
or
not part of our plan, but just besides filter changes and visual checkups of those things, we would say go with Home Service Plus, something of that nature for that type of stuff. What the plan also allows is if you're partnered with us for that, it also allows discounted rates for anything else in the world. So if you do need to have our plumbers out, if you do need to have our HVAC technicians out, or if you want a deck or a bathroom or a kitchen redone, all of those things are discounted through our company if you're part of this maintenance plan.
Okay. But you provide all those services if I need them.
Absolutely.
Right. So I can get anything.
Correct.
My furnace is going out. You guys got me.
If you need a tune-up or you need a replacement furnace, we can do both.
Okay.
Yes.
Really what I see this as is a vehicle to establish a relationship with the homeowner.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And so that you always hear about, I say it all the time too, I got a guy.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
if you need something, I got a guy that can fix it.
His famous line is just phone call away.
Just give me a phone call.
Just
I got
phone
a
call
guy.
away.
So now the homeowner can have a guy.
Yeah.
Just have to write a check.
You know, and you got a guy to change your furnace filters because that's part of your normal deal. But then if something does come up, you just go back to your guy.
Absolutely.
Because you've already got a trusted relationship with
We
him.
want to be that guy.
I envision this being, a magnet on your refrigerator with just a phone number, and you got a guy.
Yeah.
If you need anything, just give us a call. We'll figure out a way to make it happen for you.
Let's talk about the design
cool.
build side of things. I'm very curious about that.
That's
So-
awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Thank
Just so
you.
know.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
So what is the process that you go, if I call you now and I say, okay, I want my kitchen redone, just kind of walk me through what that looks like.
Well, I would usually hand over my interior remodeling stuff to Joe.
Okay.
He's our custom home builder. He's the one that went through that stuff, and I'll let you speak to it.
Go ahead.
With any customer when they come in, you figure out their level of interest. Meet with them on site at their home. Kind of gather general information on what they're looking to do. Provide assistance in like giving different ideas or things that I would do just being in the industry for 20 plus years. Like maybe instead of doing that, why don't you do this? Because it's going to save you some money and it'll be a little bit more functional type thing. Once I get that initial meeting over with, I come up with a scope of work and meet with my vendors on site, get some different pricing, different drawings done, approvals by the homeowner, meet with our design team. Right now they're in Osseo. They go in there, pick out tile, carpet, lighting, things like that, depending on what it is. Meet with the cabinet designer in that situation. Go to stone holding, pick out their granite. So it's basically like building a new home from scratch, but you're only focusing on one aspect of, well, in this case, like a kitchen remodel. But
So at what point, you got to be pretty good because you've been doing this a long time to go in and they kind of give you an idea of what they want. They have no clue about what it's going to cost. So the budget thing has to be addressed right up front.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, what are you thinking that you're going to want to spend on this deal? And they say, well, maybe $15,000. It's like, okay, that's going to scale that back.
people are generally uncomfortable giving what they want to spend on something. So a lot of times you end up not getting that value. So what I'll end up doing is taking a couple days, gathering some information, figuring out some ballpark pricing, and say, hey, it's going to be somewhere in between $40,000 and $45,000. Are you still interested in moving forward with this job? And then I can get all my vendors involved, and we can go through the design phase and fine tune it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're partnered directly with architecture firm and also an engineering firm, and so all of our drawings, all of that stuff, all of our CAD stuff.
Plus, a lot of our guys in house can do it.
In house. Yeah. So we have those relationships already, and so it's really easy to run that through with them.
What about the other part about a lot of the guys are out there doing remodeling, quote unquote remodelers, they're busy and all that stuff, but they don't have the access to materials or, different things. You guys have been in the construction business, from a Gasson standpoint since what,
1969.
69.
Yep.
So a long time, major projects, good projects, interesting materials other than your basic, what kind of quartz did you want on the countertop kind
Correct.
of thing. How do you have different showrooms that you can send people to, or that you go to that if I want something in my house, for example, I want something unique. I want something truly special. Where would I go? Or how do you walk through that?
There's probably not a product out there that you could throw on our plate that we don't have a supplier that we've already worked with that carries that product.
Yep, and we do have a couple
unique.
different showrooms throughout the Twin Cities based on, if I'm sending you to look at our plumbing type of products, or if I'm sending you to just look at, carpet, floorings, all of those things. We do have those relationships throughout the Twin Cities, and we send them there to take a look. We'll meet you on site, walk you through that process.
Do you see a lot of crossover now with this, maybe with a higher end finish, that between commercial application moving into the residential space?
A little bit, yeah. People are looking for longevity. They really are. And so they're not scared anymore to spend a little bit more to make sure they're getting those products that they really don't have to worry about again. And so I do see people transferring commercial application type stuff, specifically appliances and things like that, flooring even, into their homes, so that they can put it in and forget about it. So yeah, I do.
We have about a minute left of the segment. Can you tell me, now you want to move into that commercial space, what is your target, like commercial building? What would be your sweet spot?
So I have a couple relationships through our networking, and so what I'm really looking to do is focus on siding, exterior, and TPO and EPDM flat roofs.
Okay.
On like your Walmarts of the world, your Targets, your Chipotle's, things like that.
Still from a remodeling standpoint, not a
sure.
Absolutely. Yes, okay. Correct. Not new construction, but definitely just coming in and doing those replacements. And we can offer maintenance to those commercial buildings also. Gaston has some commercial spaces too that we already do that for.
Okay.
And so I think it's something that's good. I mean, I came from commercial building, new build.
Okay.
One of our construction guys, he came from siding for all commercial and stuff like that. And so we have some of those ins, and we're working on those.
That's exciting news. Okay, so GCM Construction.
Yep.
And it is gcmcompany.com, gcmcompany.com, 952-922-5575. Check out the Home 360 or Home 360 Plus. I think you might find that a valuable service. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
When we come back, Calvin's going to take us away with the money segment of the program. That's the one we all look forward to.
We do.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey, welcome back to the program. This is the big money segment of the program with Calvin Kamick with Loan Depot, 651-231-2500. That's the hotline number for the money. He's got a bucket full of it. Calvin?
We got a lot of it. And we actually did really just got our numbers for the end of last month, just for our whole area. Did a little over $35 million closed for our area here in Minnesota. So led all the mellow branches in our region last month. So, it's slower. January, February were tougher.
Mm-hmm.
We're $60 million in year to date through the first quarter, 39 of it last month.
Oh, wow.
So first couple months,
kind of nervous.
Yeah. Oh, not a little. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, using your office phone to call your cell phone just to make sure she rings.
Yeah,
and
still working.
Keep going into the Verizon store. She just isn't ringing, much. So, but it's good now. It's getting better, and it's getting, the market's just coming around. So I'd love to, in this segment, we use this segment, we push it out a lot of different directions. So I'd love just a quick market update from you guys before the segment. Before I get into money, just give me the real estate market inventory, what you guys are seeing, what your needs are.
I'm seeing a ton of. So I'm looking at houses this weekend.
Yep.
Already with multiple offer notifications. So we have a lot of multiple offer situations, especially under $400,000. And if you have a house between $400,000 and $800,000 that is good, clean, move-in ready property, you're still going to have multiple offer situations. That's what's happening right now in the real estate market. It's April. It's a busy time of year. Our inventory comes up at this time of year every year. Doesn't matter what's going on, whether interest rates are 7 or it's during COVID.
Yep.
Houses are coming on the market. And so if you're out shopping around right now, so are other people, which means it is a competitive situation. Yep. And so we have to understand that. I'm literally texting with my client right now during the show about a house that has multiple offer deadline this weekend. We're discussing, how high she's willing to go, what we can do to make our offer more appealing, and so that's the market we're in right now, regardless of where interest rates are at.
And when a new property comes on the market, you're sending it out to your client and say, here, let's take a look at this one. House is $385. Understand, you're not going to get it for $385.
Right.
I mean, you're just not. I mean, that you're going to have multiple offers on that property, and it's different than a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago, where there maybe isn't going to be 20 offers on the property, but there'll be 10.
Right, and it is a matter of timing. So if we're looking at the same type of product in November, we can look. Let's say you're approved to $350. And we're looking in November. We can look to $350. If you're approved to $350 right now, I would suggest we probably look about $320 because we know that we're going to be in a multiple offer situation. If your cap is really $350 and we're looking for a good, clean, and move-in ready property, others are looking for the same thing, and you will be in a competitive situation. And unless you can sweeten the deal a little bit, if we really can't go over $350, probably not looking at homes at $350.
Interesting.
Right.
We got to drop the price a little bit and give ourselves some room to pad the pockets of the seller in order to win in that multiple offer situation. In addition to all kinds of other things. So very competitive market right now. and that's the timing of the year.
Are you guys seeing? I have a situation where realtors are using off-market, like they're doing off-market stuff prior to the house even getting on the market, so they don't get into multiples.
Yeah, there's some of that. There's some of that. That's a teeny weeny little part of the market.
It's in the case that I did this week on one of those, it was nice because it was a bond loan, FHA bond loan, and it's like you're not going to get this if we have to compete for it, because right or wrong. You guys are going to look at the offers and go, zero down bond loan, and you're going to kind of go, you might have cash or 10% down or
20,
so it is. I see that it is a way that we're getting some buyers into these properties. So it's a good to work with realtors who are getting inventory right prior to it all being on the market. Now we have an opportunity to maybe put something together even before it gets there, which is why you got to work with a good real estate team that has a lot of inventory coming in. So appreciate that. A couple things I wanted to share real quick as we get into the money segment is just one website I want everybody to go to is optoutprescreen.com, optoutprescreen.com, and why we're telling people to get there and register right away is because when people when we're getting a pre-approval for somebody, and we've had this this week, and it's coming more and more. These credit bureaus, once we pull credit bureaus sell that information out. We don't sell it. We don't give it away. Credit bureaus think our industry went from here to here. So that means also these credit bureaus are making less money. So what are they doing? They're ramping up selling their data. So I literally had a client that we're working on together. We did a credit pull on Friday night or Saturday. She had 35 calls between 8:30 in the morning and 10 a.m. 35 text messages and calls about credit. Hey, looks like you're applying for mortgage. Hey, I can help you. Hey, I can. Oh, we have the lowest rates in town. All this.
Amazing.
Another one. Yesterday as we were in a networking group. And my loan officers are texting and go, hey, we got to get people out of this because my client had 20-some calls, blah, blah, blah. So now, on our side, what are we doing to avoid this? We won't put in the phone number. We used to say, hey, fill out it online. Now we're saying, hey, let me take the information by hand, put it in, or don't enter in your phone number or email address, so that we can pull the information first, then we'll put in your information. So it's not so easy for them.
Or have them just opt into that as part of the application process too.
So anyway, a good site to go to there.
I did that yesterday while we were in the meeting.
Did you?
Yeah.
Smart. It's just frustrating, super frustrating. The whole credit industry.
As a consumer, I have to imagine, you're just getting bombarded now. You want to go out and get a mortgage or whatever, and you just get nailed.
But think about that. Anything you do right now, right? If you want a new trampoline, Keith, and you search for a trampoline, I promise you're going to get bombarded now with every trampoline vendor that there is. It's just this whole Big Brother piece. It's real, and it is
retargeting
all over.
ads. Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy. In terms of money, where are rates at? We had some economic news come out this week. We thought it would help rates. It really hasn't. We're still in that mid-6 to high-6 range. You're paying a little bit of money to probably get to 6.5%, which means you're paying money as a discount to get down to that rate. So rates
explain that to me, because you have inflation is down, which is what the goal was. You have, or down compared to last year, which is what the goal was. You have the employment numbers, new jobs created was below expectations, and rates didn't change.
Didn't move.
Why is that?
I wish I had the right answer. I don't have
the
right
world
answer.
Is ready. We're headed towards World War III.
Yeah.
You'd think rates would come down.
You'd think that we'd start. Right, and we do see economic data that will drive us towards lower rates supposedly, and the marker that they're giving us, I think, is May 10th. I think I said April 10th, but I'm not sure. Trevor said I was right with May 10th.
Was it?
I think it was May 10th, right, Trevor?
No, I think it was April.
Yeah,
Crickets.
I think crickets. Yeah, no, I think it's May 10th. So we'll start to see a trend down, but I don't. We used to be pretty good, and now I'm just going to watch what happens on the markets, and
kind of like the weather.
It's you don't know.
Yeah,
right?
Don't go by the forecast. Just look out the window.
Right.
It was supposed to have been snowing today, and it's 75 degrees.
75.
Yeah.
I'm going golfing this afternoon for the first time.
Yeah,
right, so
wonderful.
it'll be perfect
In 2 years.
In 2 years. No. So what problem did you solve this week? Right. So you always ask me that question. So I I solved a great problem this week with people having a lot of equity coming out of a home. Instead of putting it all into their new purchase, what we did is we put a portion into their new home and we restructured their debt. These are people that went through a Chapter 7. Mm-hmm. They're currently in a Chapter 13. They're in their last 4 months of their 13, so we can, because they had 12 months of payments, we can finance them with an FHA loan while they're in a Chapter 13. But because they went through those two scenarios, their interest rates, unlike their cars, were over 20%. Mm-hmm. So their payments are just crazy high. So they have a lot of nice equity, right? So we are taking a lot of that equity. We're paying off $77,000 of existing debt.
High interest rate
High interest debt. And we're putting less down on the home. And cash flow, from a cash flow analysis, because we do this household family, the household cash flow analysis, we're going, okay, we're in a better cash position buying the new home, getting rid of all this bad debt. Our mortgage payment's a little bit higher here, but we lost all these payments here, and it's bad debt. And they're just like thrilled that they're thrilled that we have a strategy now and they don't have to do anything now, just sell your house, get your equity at closing. We're buying the new home and we're paying off all this stuff.
So
what exhale.
What
nice.
I want to make clear here is that in that scenario, in that case, they got a new house.
Yep.
And their monthly outlay is less than they were before. So it's like
absolutely.
We got the new house for free. Not only did we get the new house for free, we got the new house and made money on it.
Exactly.
At the closing table, just because of the way we moved the money
and
around.
That's just because they got into a property a while back that had nice equity buildup, and it's the perfect story of how real
looking at the big picture.
Yeah, like we had talked about in the first segment, people that are in a position with equity, take a look at the big picture and see what you can do with it. Maybe you can buy it on a rate. You can put more money down. You can pay off other existing debt that helps to reduce the cost of the money that you're borrowing overall, and then improve your lifestyle at the same time.
So give me a call. I'd love to have the conversation with you. 651-231-2500. That's the money segment.
This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. Check it out. You can watch this program on YouTube later, or it'll be on the podcast as it comes out. Your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group at Coldwell Banker Realty. HittnerGroup.com, and we'll see you next week.